It is unbearably warm in the UK right now. Way too hot to be sat inside in an office with no air conditioning, under a painting light, building and painting Warhammer minis. It's just not happening. So I've come to one of the only places where I think it's socially acceptable, maybe, to build some Warhammer, and also has air conditioning, and that is the gym. So let's pop inside and see if we can make some hobby gains while also making some personal gains underneath the blessing that is air conditioning. Praise be to the Omnisire. Here we are at the gym on the treadmill, full of air conditioning, as you can see right behind me in my t-shirt blowing in the wind, and also full of anxiety and self-consciousness because I've never really filmed outside. This is a bit strange for me, but you know what? I'm always all about trying new things and pushing out the boundaries of our comfort zone, so I thought this would be a really fun video to try and do that, as well as, like I mentioned, cracking through the older pile of grey. So yeah, I've got my layout, I've got my clippers with me, got the glue, I've even got the little booklets pressed up against the treadmill. It's actually a surprisingly cool little setup. So let's just get cracking. I think what I want to do about the format of this video, so I'm going to start, I've got a whole sheet here, so I've got like 5 minis to make. I've got all the equipment with me to properly clip them off, build them and crack through. And I think what I'm going to do is build one on the treadmill, see how long that takes, maybe like 10-15 minutes, and then move on over to maybe like the elliptical or the bike, try out a few different cardio machines, you know, see if any of them are optimal for building, any of them are a nightmare, and just have a little bit of fun with it. I'm already seeing a problem that I'm already noticing a problem that I can't see any of these things without a light. There we go. And just the whole like notion of moving or walking while clipping isn't too bad, you know. I thought it'd be all over the place, like I'd try and clip off a leg and I'd like slip and I'd cut through something important, but you know what? It's actually not too bad so far. My big worry and my like sort of the thing that's going to be the biggest problem is if I drop anything, this treadmill is going to take it to the warp. I'm absolutely terrified. It's going to hit the belt and have to go fly, and so I need to be really, really careful to hold on to what I've got. That is the only issue and worry. But I say that's the only issue and worry actually. Now the more I think about it, this might be a terrible idea because how the hell am I going to glue things? I'm all about this. I'm saying if I drop the plastic bits, then that's a problem. But if I drop the glue, that is a whole other world of issues. All right, so it's just let's try out this first bit. Anyway, I did bring the hobby knife with me to try and like clean up some of the mold lines and stuff. But that's probably a terrible idea, cracking out the hobby knife while trying to walk. These are my pieces. Have I clipped off something else? I've clipped off something. Oh, there you go. I've already clipped off something wrong, I think. Yeah, okay. I've clipped off the wrong posse. Oh no, now I'm going to get an old pile of them built up. Okay, maybe this wasn't a great idea. Let's stop the old talking, switch to some B-roll and see how we get on, eh? Actually, where's the arm? Hold on. let me get started before I start yapping. But I say switch to some B-roll. There's not really a lot you can do on a treadmill. I'm trying to like think of creative shots to be like showing me doing some clipping, showing me doing some gluing, just doing some like YouTubery, like, I don't want to say cinematography because that sounds a little bit pretentious considering how low effort my videos are. But yeah, there's not a lot you can kind of do when just clipping off some minis on a treadmill without any close-ups. But what I will say is this is actually, yeah, being alright, to be fair. It's actually really fun. Like kind of just getting some steps in, getting moving, and also like clipping off some Warhammer. I think it's definitely something I've got a treadmill at home, but like I mentioned, it's unbearably warm at the minute, so it's not really something I want to do. Like it's way too hot to do any sort of cardio at home. But going forward, when the weather gets a little bit nicer and whatnot, this is definitely something I could see myself doing more often at home. I am interested to see what it's going to be like when we finish this dude and then go on like an exercise bike or something, because yeah, this is actually flying like time-wise and it's actually being quite quick. So I definitely think we're going to get a chance to build this dude up in full and then jump on over to an exercise bike, looking around, just trying to be conscious of like who's behind me and who's in the shot. Obviously I don't want to film random people who are working out and they probably don't want to be in this weird YouTube Warhammer video. So I'm just trying to be conscious of that. There are some exercise bikes around me, so we'll definitely jump on one of those in a minute. But so far, so good. Just gluing on the gun and the arms. I've also brought the Red Corsair upgrade sprue with me, so I can give this dude some, oh my god, oh, that glue is strong. Get some Red Corsair shoulder pads on him. One thing that is becoming an issue though is, I did bring the knife with me to try and like chip off, you know, the extra bits and the sprue lines and whatnot, or the mold lines, sorry. I don't trust myself to get out a knife and start like chewing small cuts and like tidying things up while walking on the treadmill. The glue is risky enough. So I might have to do that when I get home, to be fair. Just trying to line up the arms. That's actually one thing that's a little bit fiddly. And something I'm trying to work on is the posing and making sure things look all right proportionally, just because a few of my minis have been, I like to get eccentric with my posing, kind of like loads of action shots, but some of them look a little bit funky. So I'm just trying to take a little bit more care on the posing of the minis. All right, that's all the arms. All right, so just going to clip off the shoulder pad. I need to make sure this is a Terminator one. I guess it's the massive chunky boys there, the Terminator shoulder pads. So yeah, actually, you know what? What have we been on? 20 minutes or so? And it's probably taken a little bit longer just because I've been yapping a whole bunch, but 20 minutes just to build a Terminator, getting some steps as well. Not doing too bad. So I'm just going to finish up the last couple bits. So I've just got to glue on 2 shoulder pads. Well, actually, just 2 shoulder pads. I'm going to leave the head and the trophy rack off just because they're always a nightmare to paint and build and everything anyway, and it's going to only be worse on the treadmill. So I'm going to leave those off, finish off the last shoulder pad, and then we can go jump on an exercise bike or something. Hello, hello. There we go. Right, we're on. There we go. There's a lot more setup to a situation like this than just sat at home when I've got my my camera plugged into an arm and then I just hit record. Like, there's a lot more going on. So yeah, a lot more to think about. But as you can see, we moved on to the bike. This is going to be a lot more difficult, I think. Well, actually, in one way, I think it's going to be more difficult because there's less space. I feel like on the treadmill we had, what have I clipped out? Clipped out that 47 I clipped out earlier. So where's 47? 46, there we go. Yeah, so on the treadmill, I feel like we had loads of space, like a little tray, like store things, whereas on the bike, there's just like nothing. There's a tiny little patch. Luckily, I've got the book rested up. So that little patch has got the glue and half of my Space Marine Terminator body on it. But I also think it might be a little bit easier just because there's less movement, like from the waist down. It's just rocking up her legs, whereas the treadmill was full body. But yeah, the gym's getting a little bit busier now, so what I might do is I might just do this dude and call it there and go home. And then what I'm probably thinking is we can edit this, I might edit the video, see how long it is, see what the vibe is, and if it's a bit too short and we want to pad it out a bit, maybe we can paint one of these boys up quickly. But if it's an okay length, I'm out of breath. I didn't think about this actually, talking, doing cardio and everything all at once and what it affects me, like just being able to speak. Oh my God, maybe I might need to cut to some B-roll soon because I'm getting a bit, gassed. But yeah, what I might do is we can build up this dude, just connecting the bodies together, and then we can maybe go home, speak about it while we paint the guy up. Because I'm thinking, yeah, I might not get as much footage of this building as I thought, just because it's a little bit awkward to film with people around, and also just it's kind of hard to get the camera angles when I'm like this. So yeah, let's just maybe do a little bit of B-roll, see what we can get, and then maybe talk about our thoughts and look at the boys. Right, here we are, back home, showered and rested. Yeah, sorry, I had to cut that a little bit short just because the gym was getting a bit busy. And there was people on like machines next to me and behind me, and I was like, I don't want to get people in the background. Like, they don't want to be in my weird little Warhammer gym YouTube video. So I just finished up that second Chaos Terminator on the exercise bike like we just saw, and I've come home and I thought we could have a little bit of a chat about the experience, what it was like, what I would do again in the future, because I definitely would do this again, like weirdly. And also, yeah, like I said, I'll quickly whack up like a little painting, like speed run here on the side, just so we can like say we got actually painted and finished a mini, and also you've got something to look at while I waffle on about how that was actually really fun and really good. Like, I honestly, like I mentioned, I did it because it's so hot in the UK at the minute, and yeah, the gym has aircon, and I kind of want to be productive, you know. If I'm just like walking on a treadmill, I kind of want to do something. So I thought, you know what, we can build some Warhammer minis and make some like, do something productive with the hobby and get some stuff done. And yeah, it was actually like surprisingly easy. It was a bit anxiety inducing, like I mentioned, but I think that was more just the filming in public. But also, yeah, rocking up to like the gym with like sprues and clippers and glue was a bit like, this is a bit weird. But after doing it for like a minute or two, I was like, ah, this is fine, no one cares. Like if I saw someone doing something like that, I'd be like, whatever, I wouldn't even think twice. So I think, yeah, it was really nerve-wracking at the start, but after like a minute or two, absolutely fine. And yeah, in terms of like how it worked, it was absolutely flawless. Like I was worried that it was going to be really awkward, like moving and like clipping and gluing stuff, but like actually it was fine. I think it's because I've built Terminators before and they're quite a simple unit. So like if you've got simple stuff that you built before, that you feel comfortable just like going through the motions, like yeah, it'd be easy to do. I don't know if I would do this again on like something I've not built before or something that's like loads of details. Like I've got High Marshal Helbrick and 2 characters from the Masters of the Maelstrom left to build. And yeah, I definitely would not be like rocking up to the gym with all that, because one thing that was a problem with this was I took the hobby knife with me to tidy up all of the excess. So it was the mold lines and the little bits of plastic that are left on when you clip off sometimes. So they were really bad because I did take the hobby knife with me, but A, I thought it'd be really weird pulling out a knife at the gym, and B, it was a bit overwhelming filming, having the clippers, the instructions, the sprue, there was loads going on. But I think if I took away the filming aspect and say I went back to the gym tomorrow and I was like, well, I go every day to do my cardio, but when I go tomorrow, if I was like, yeah, actually, I kind of want to do this again, I wouldn't take the camera with me, and that'd be one less thing to think about. So I might feel more comfortable getting out the hobby knife and just like tidying up. Although that would be very touchy, like moving and having a knife trying to scrap. I have to be very careful, but that's something you can take into consideration. So yeah, it was a little bit awkward, like having loads of these little extra bits left over and not being as tidy, but that's something I just did at home. Like when I got home, I pulled them out and just clipped off and tidied up some of the little bits. The big bulk of it, like clipping off all the pieces, gluing them together and building them, absolutely fine and flawless. So yeah, it's definitely something I would do again, weirdly enough, and it was really, really fun to just sort of do a 2-in-1, get some hobby done and some like fitness goals. And then in terms of, I guess, we did 2 minis, one on each, a treadmill and the bike, both the same. What I mentioned in the gym clips, how the bike was easier because you're just kind of pedaling, like even from this view now, like you can kind of like, if I'm moving my legs to pedaling, the whole upper body is still, and you can like, the hands are free to do stuff. Although I do find personally riding a bike or like doing the exercise bike is more intense on my like cardiovascular, so I'm more like out of breath and like breathing, it's kind of hard, whereas a treadmill is quite easy, just like do a walking pace, but there's a lot more movement in your body. But to be honest, that's semantics? Pedantics? I don't know the word. That's just small niggly bits. That really, both of them didn't really impact. I'm just trying to find things to talk about to pad out the video. But like, they were both absolutely fine. The treadmill did have more space, like it's on the front deck, so it's kind of easier to do stuff. But honestly, both of them were absolutely fine. I'd definitely do it again. But as always, thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments if you're planning on doing anything as silly as this, like building at the gym or anything. And thank you to all the people who support the channel through Patreon and YouTube memberships. If you're interested in joining them, there's links in the description, and you get things like sneak previews to what's coming up and all of your names in the credits of videos. So thanks for watching. Drop a like and subscribe, and tune in next time. Bye.